Hello everyone, Endwalker had quite a few surprises, including removing the job of Summoner and then adding a new job called Summoner. The Summoner rework was so different that all the hotbar setups are completely different too. Personally, I do really like the new Summoner, but I also really like the old one and I miss it so much. Anyway, this isn't a job review video, it's a controller setup video. I did release a draft setup earlier and that setup works fine, but it was tested on Fates and not by doing any opener testing. It's still perfectly okay if you want to use it, but I did eventually perform the testing it deserved and changed quite a few things around, so let's take a look. On the right side of the primary, I have Ruin, Titan, Gemshine, and Ruin 4. I do generally try to keep GCDs on the action buttons, and on the D-pad I have OGCDs, Fester, Energy Drain, Enkindle, and Astral Flow. You might notice that I have Astral Flow in multiple places because depending on which version is being used, it is sometimes better elsewhere. This one here is mostly for the OGCD versions of Astral Flow that Bahamut, Titan, and Phoenix have. Of course, you can use it for Garuda and Ifrit too, but depending on where you are in the rotation, the other ones might fit better, and I will explain why as I go. We're ignoring the left side of the primary for now to talk about the expanded. You will notice it's pretty much the exact same as the primary's right side, but for the AoE versions. So Energy Drain becomes Energy Siphon, Fester is Painflare, and Ruin is Try Disaster. This brings Summoner into the AoE standard I have for all DPS and tanks where AoE is on the expanded. Only healers do not follow this because they have AoE healing there instead. Of course, this does mean that we need to ensure certain other actions that are used for both the single target and AoE rotations are easily accessible and visible, and that's where we bring in the right double cross hotbar. Searing Light, our party buff, is of course in the spot I normally reserve for such things. Lucid is in the reserved resource spot and is the same as Healer, and Surecast is in the reserved anti-knockback spot. Addle falls into the party mitigation spot. You will notice that Garuda, Ifrit, and Bahamut, which is also Phoenix, are there too. Garuda is still in an action spot, but Ifrit and Bahamut/Phoenix combo are not, despite them being GCDs, and I normally like for those to be on action buttons. However, this is done because with Lucid and Searing Light taking up reserved spots, that only left 2. While I could have put Ifrit or Bahamut up top where the second Astral Flow is, I didn't want to do that, because Ifrit's Astral Flow is a jump ahead, and that's normally where I put those as well. Besides, since these buttons are used to start the phase, but are otherwise not used during the phase, it's not really that big a deal if they're on the D-pad. This means the entirety of the rotation is available primarily on the right side, making it easy to keep track of cooldowns, and leaving your left hand occupied with movement and more occasional actions. So let's talk about the left side now. The left double cross hotbar has our Swift Cast and Resurrection. This is the same as the healers. Radiant Aegis is in a reserved spot for DPS self-healing of areas. I put Sleep up there as well because after finishing up Black Mage and Red Mage, this was the only spot available for all three. Well, this and the left D-pad button on the double cross hotbar, but since Sleep is a GCD and this action button was available, I figured why not. However, if you want to move Sleep and place Ifrit or Garuda there, it's a valid option too, but I just did not like doing that. And of course we have Limit Break in a reserve spot, and consumables. No, I don't expect you to use super potions. I just did not feel like buying the tinctures, so I'm using super potions as a placeholder. This leaves the left side of the primary. Carbuncle is an occasional action. You use it before the fight starts and then never again, so the D-pad is a great spot. Astral Flow is repeated because of Swiftcast. If you want to Swiftcast your Astral Flow while in Garuda phase, or I guess Ifrit phase, this will make it flow much better than going to the other two options available. That leaves everything else for pet actions. The Summoner rework has so few buttons that we can afford to have actions like Astral Flow repeated and allocate plenty for our pet's positioning. You can definitely pick out what you want for pet actions, I put in place and heal. These locations match up with the locations on Scholar, though Scholars is on the expanded. Then we have macro versions of place, so either your target or yourself. And steady or guard are there in case you want them, I guess. I did make an alternate version of the primary's left side as well, where Ruin 3 and Summon Bahamut are placed for a potentially easier opener. This does mean 2 pet actions have to go away, so goodbye guard and steady, though you can put one of them on the double cross hotbar or put away there. Since using away means your pet can attack, just like steady, and resummoning it will allow it to attack when attacked, just like guard. Then you just need to move the other ones around. I would actually recommend using the macro versions of place, since they're fast, and pet order action macros don't have any queuing loss since they're not attached to your action timeline. Pet order actions are done on their own timeline separate from you, which means you can press them at any time even while casting. You might notice Physic isn't placed at all. I normally don't like to call actions useless. Even back during Stormblood when people called Break useless, I found a very limited super niche use of it in deep dungeons. However, Summoner's Physic is so weak that unless you're doing something like Sestasha, you'll never need it. And you really shouldn't need it there either, even if you have new players, because thanks to potency, stat, and action changes done over the years, even an undergeared tank should have no problem staying alive there. If Square Enix ever fixes Summoner's Physic, I will put it back. And that's it for today. I will see you all for the next video. Take care, don't forget to like and comment, and oh yes, the macro setup is in the description. Bye bye!